Hey folks, it's your buddy Mark from the Suburban Hippie Experimentalist, and I've decided that I want to go ahead and change the oil today. The car's got 77,974 miles on it. It's got a sticker from CarMax where they changed the oil at 77,275. So you may be asking yourself, why do I want to change the oil early? Well, the reason is, to some of you that's going to be obvious, but the reason is because when you buy a used car, what can happen is it can have a noisy engine, and what the car dealership can do, and it would surprise me if CarMax does this, is they can put a really heavyweight oil in there with the oil change, and what that does is quiet down the engine. And the reason I want to go ahead and change it is because I hear a ticking noise, which wouldn't normally be a big concern of mine. You can get a lot of ticking from a valve train, especially in a vehicle like this that has a 4-liter engine with solid lifters. That's not such a big deal. But what concerns me is I hear the ticking getting a little louder as I drive. So it makes me a little worried that maybe they put a heavyweight oil in there. And I would be surprised if CarMax actually did this, but I'm going to find out for sure. So how am I going to find out for sure? You can hear it a little bit. I'll show you what it sounds like from outside of the car. Like I said, it's not that big a deal. It's just that it's getting louder and that concerns me. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. It doesn't sound that bad from outside the car. It either sounds like lifter noise or actually injector noise. So let's listen. Pretty sure that noise I'm hearing is injector noise, but I'm going to go ahead and change the oil anyway. And I'm going to send it away for analysis, and we're going to see what it says. And if there's a problem, I will let you guys know. Hi guys, so I listened to the noise from the engine again. I listened to it by listening to the track or the video on the camera, and you can definitely hear the lifter noise in there mixed in amongst the injector noise. Now the injector noise is not what I was talking about before. That's not what I heard originally. I heard lifter noise. Now it's not that bad. I don't think it's bad, but the thing is, I think it's getting a little noisier, and it could be my paranoia because it's a new used car, you know, and I have no idea the history of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and change out the oil anyway, and I'm going to put in Valvoline Max Life. And the Valvoline Max Life is not to fix any problem. It's because I like Valvoline Max Life. The car has 77,000 miles on it, so I think it's time for Max Life. And I've used it before. I had a Mazda 2006 Mazda 3 that eventually had 200,000 miles on there. And about 150,000 miles, that car really started to burn a lot of oil. It ran fine, but it burned a lot of oil. So I put Valvoline Max Life in it, and within 2 weeks it stopped burning oil, so that on my next change it had as much oil, it had about the same amount of oil in it, maybe a little less. Now previous to that, when I went to change the oil, if I didn't check it, it'd be off the dipstick. So it really fixed that oil leak problem, or oil burning problem. So since then, I've been really impressed with that oil. Now, Valvoline now has a fully synthetic Max Life oil, high mileage oil. And I'm going to use that today. Again, not to fix any problems, because I like it. I want it to, you know, it has good detergents in it. I want it to clean all the gunk that might be in there. It's got seal conditioners in there to prevent future leaks. And mostly I'm just changing the oil because if I put the appropriate weight oil in there and it's thinner, and somebody did put a thick weight oil in there to quiet the engine down, I'm going to know right away. That, and I get to send the other oil out for analysis. So keep watching and I'll show you. Okay, so here's the oil and filter I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Purelator Boss, which is, I think, Purelator's finest filter. And I'm going to use this Valvoline full synthetic high mileage for engines over 75,000 miles, 50 or 5W30, which is what the manual calls for. And this is Max Life with, quote, Max Life technology. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I can tell you underneath the car, Jill's car has a lot more clearance underneath there than this. Could be because it's a solid axle, but even the belly underneath the motor sticks down a lot farther. I don't know if you can see it, but the oil filter nicely is in the front of the engine. Looks like they put on the cheapest filter you could. I think it says Quest or something. We'll see when we get it off. To figure out, it has an access door under there. Maybe I need to take that off to get under there. Okay, FYI, here's that access door I was telling you about. I'm going to take these two bolts out and see if I can reach that filter. Don't have a lot of room under here. This car's much easier. You can see the bolt there underneath the pan that I placed to drain the oil out. But first I want to make sure I can get to that filter before I take the oil out. So let's see what so yeah, you take that door off and you can access that filter. Looks like the filter says CarQuest. What a cheap piece of garbage filter. You know what? I guess I don't know that. I don't know anything about the CarQuest, but I assume it's cheap. So I'm going to reach up in there and take that off after I get the oil plug off and drain that oil. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to see if I can get a sample of that oil. Okay folks, hopefully you can see this. So I loosened up this oil plug here. I've driven it. They tell you to drive for about 20 minutes. I probably drove it for 2 10-minute trips. So they tell you to get the middle of the stream and not the beginning and end. So wish me luck here. Pretty hard to take off. It was torqued on. Oh, there we go. It was torqued on there pretty good. This oil has less than 1,000 miles on it. That's actually interesting. It's got kind of a red hue to it, which I find very bizarre. Okay. That's weird. Let me tell you a little something about that red hue. And I don't know this to be a fact that they did this, but it used to be an old trick. Hopefully you can still hear me. There used to be an old trick when you had a noisy engine that was all gunked up. You put some transmission fluid in it, maybe half a quart, and that would clean out all the gunk. Wouldn't matter too much on this. The lifters are solid, but might help clean some galleyways and stuff. It's actually really interesting. Alright, hopefully you see what you need to see here. I want to show you guys something. It is a real pain in the ass to get to that filter. You have to get in. Here's the sway bar from the side. This is the passenger side tire. You have to get in by here, reach up in there to get that filter. I don't know why they put this access door on here, but they should have made it large enough to get that filter out of there, because you can't get the new filter in, you can't get the old filter out. So just wanted to show you that real quick. Okay, so in the new Valvoline goes. Got my filter there, it's all cleaned out with a paper towel. Make sure there's no gunk in there, and here. Okay, so with the new oil and filter on there, or new filter on there and oil in there, I'm going to start it up and I'm going to watch the oil light, and I'm going to look for oil leaks. Okay. The oil light is to the left of the RPM. See where it says brake and oil light? So I'm going to watch that. Make sure that goes out within a few seconds. Okay. So it went out. Now I'm going to let it run and I'm going to look for oil leaks before I put that access door and everything back on. Now remember, that oil I just put in there is cold. The engine will probably sound a little different, maybe a little quieter with that new oil in there. So I'll show you how I fill out the sample here in a minute, and I'll show you me shipping it away, or I will tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to ship it express mail USPS. And I think that I read the fee's only $25, or it was then. I don't know what it is now, but it's probably worth it for the peace of mind. So thanks for watching, and I'll let you know if there's any problems. Okay, so it's all packed up and ready to go. Oil, there's a container inside of here. It's inside of a bag with some oil absorbent cloth. Inside here, I'm going to tape this. I paid for it online. You can pay for it online. It's an HTTPS site, and it brings you here, so that when they get the sample, they will use your credit card on file, and you don't have to write down your credit card number here or send a check. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and I'll let you guys know what the sample says. Thanks for watching.